What's that over there? I just blew your fucking mind. Abberant Mind Sorcerer. Here we go.
Woo! Alright, so Abberant Mind Sorcerers, what are they? So what is an Abberant Mind Sorcerer? The book describes it as an alien influence has wrapped its tendrils around your mind, giving you psionic power. You can now touch other minds with that power and alter the world around you by using it to control the magical energies of the multiverse.
Now, I love how well this ties in with the new Spelljammer background, the Astral Drifter, which is literally drifting in space. You came across a godlike entity
Being a power
that has imprinted on you, and they give you the magic initiate feat, and then / level sorcerer or some shit like that. But I love how this ties in. So that's what I used for my game in Hermes D&D game.
It's pretty good. So basically what you get here is a couple of options to how the psionics work around you. And you're essentially using psionics. I definitely took a Far Realm approach with mine, but that isn't necessarily the way it has to go. I did have a look at some of the options you got here, and Psionic Spells is something you gain at first level. So for Psionic Spells, you learn additional spells when you reach certain levels in this class, as shown in the Psionic Spell list table. Each of these spells count as a sorcerer spell for you, but it doesn't count against the number of sorcerer spells you know, so it's bonus spells. So that's common, and that's really how things are going.
Clockwork Sorcerer, yeah.
Whenever you gain a sorcerer level, you can replace one of these spells you gained from this feature with another spell of the same level. The new spell must be divination or enchantment spell from the sorcerer, warlock, or wizard list. So we've had the list up there of spells that are available to you, but I've also gone through and just had a look at some of the divination and enchantment spells. And some of the ones that really call out to me, obviously your Mind Sliver, which you're going to get at first level. But also I love spells like Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Sleep, Hold Purse. There's so many great spells on that enchantment list, all the way up to Psychic Scream. Mind Whip.
Tasha's Mind Whip
Big fan.
is just ridiculous. Attacking someone's action economy is brutal, especially if there's only one big monster.
And then going further, and it leans into the same story when you look at the Divine list. I mean, there's locating objects, people, things like that, seeing invisibilities, detecting thoughts. It all ties in with exactly what your class is doing. But I also love Scry and True Seeing. These are great things that really tap into this class for me.
These psionic spells will become more important later on when you gain more abilities at level 6. Let me handle this. This is the first time I've ever held a D&D book. I'm not even kidding. Except for your 3.5 books that you let me use.
Yep.
This is the first time I've held a D&D book
Hard
and
copy.
looked through the rules, a hard copy. So it's not my book though. He wouldn't give it to me. Oh, you want me to get to the thing?
Tell what you do the thing.
Okay. Telepathic Speech. You can form a telepathic connection between your mind and the mind of another as a bonus action. Choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of you. You and the chosen creature can speak telepathically with each other while the two of you are within a number of miles equal to your charisma modifier. Now, I love this because there's no saving throw. So if you want to mess with someone at a pub for no reason, you can.
Just do it.
And you can just restart the connection every couple minutes.
No, it stops.
And
There's no limit on how many
there's
times
no
you do
limit.
it.
There's no save. You can literally convince one bloke that the other bloke stole his beer and just watch the fighting ensue. My favourite thing about the Abberant Mind Sorcerer is the level 6 ability, Psionic Sorcerey. When you cast any spell of first level or higher from your Psionic Spell feature, you can cast it by expending a spell slot as normal or by spending a number of sorcery points equal to the spell's level. This is different from other ones where you have to pay extra. If you can cast it with sorcery points, it requires no verbal or somatic components. And it requires no material components unless they're consumed by the spell.
That's good.
Goodbye counterspell.
That's good. That's good. Because normally, if you're using a level 1 spell, you got to spend 2 sorcery points. I'll put the table up there. As you can see, like level 2, 3, 3, 5, 4, 6, 5, 7, and it caps normally. This doesn't cap.
It's ridiculous. I got to play this during a game with Hermes D&D, and it's broken as all hell. There's no saves. There's no notice. Nobody knows who's casting the spell. Mm-hmm. You're not giving any visual signals. Pretty much a good insight check's the only defense they have.
Just look at this. Hold person, level 2, two sorcerer points. You can cast that so many more times. You just throw those things. Hideous laughter. Everyone gets a hideous laughter. Like, there's so many spells that cost so little, and a short rest they all come back. You can. I mean, there's no big fireballs, but there's so many other spells that
Charm
are powerful. Modify memory, synaptic static. Power word pain. I mean, we're getting higher, but I mean, even at lower level, there's just interesting things. Hideous laughter takes people out of the fight. So, you know, for such a small cost, this is a great ability.
And the fact you can't be seen, you can't be caught.
Makes it hard to tell who's casting it. Tied with that at level 6, you also gain psychic defenses. Psychic defenses, you gain resistance to psychic damage, and you gain advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened. Charmed and frightened, they pair up all the time. That's pretty standard. Whenever you see one, you usually see the other. But the resistance to psychic damage, yeah, a lot of campaigns that won't come up. But for some DMs who really put thought and really make their campaign something, or if you went in a Psionics campaign, which, I mean, I've run a few Psionics campaigns back in 3rd edition, they were great campaigns. This would definitely, like Eldritch Blast from Illithid sort of thing, something like a Sonic Blast, you're resistant to it because it ties in with what you're doing. This is it won't come up in every campaign, and it won't be in every fight, but when it does, it'll matter.
Exactly right. And one of the other things we kind of need to mention, there's a big gap in the Sorcerer abilities for this subclass, for all Sorcerer subclasses. You have level 6, then you have the level 14 Revelations in Flesh. Now, while there is a big gap, every time you gain a level in Sorcerer, you could be swapping out one of your spells for a divination or enchantment spell, like Charm Person. So you can adapt your spell list as the campaign's changing. Also, every time you get a level, you're gaining another Sorcerer point, which get traded straight back at full value from your spell slots. So if you have a level 5 spell, you can trade that for 5 level 1 Charm Persons that nobody knows who's casting them. And by the time you get to level 10 or 11, you basically can cast 40 or 50 first level spells and just ruin people's lives. So be kind to your DM. It's a new year. Let's take a new leaf and just...
It's good. It's good. Psychic defense, it's not that bad. Charm and Frighten ties in, and resistance is great. Going on to the Revelations of the Flesh, you want to take us through it?
Yes, I do. Revelations of the Flesh. A lot of people don't like this ability. I love it because this is basically you divorcing yourself from the body you used to have as you've given in to the Eldritch power or whatever you've succumbed to. But for each sorcery point that you spend, for the next 10 minutes, you can transform your body to 1. See invisible creatures within 60 feet. 2. Gain a flying speed with hover. 3. Gain a swimming speed equal to twice your walking speed. 4. Your body, along with any equipment you are wearing or carrying, becomes slimy and pliable. You can move through any space as narrow as 1 inch without squeezing. And you can spend 5 feet of movement to escape from non-magical restraint or being grappled.
It's better than an ooze from Spelljammer.
Yeah.
Because your gear goes with you.
Yeah. But I love it. I think it's amazing. A lot of people don't. I'm a big fan of it.
I think it's so-so. I don't think it's a huge gain, but I do like the ability to just, boom, I got fly, this will get me out of a problem.
Yeah.
Boom. I wasn't expecting to come across a sunken part of the temple, but boom, I'm going in, and I didn't have to. And as a sorcerer, I didn't have a lot of spells. I wouldn't prep or take water breathing. I'd get a magic item for that, but it just lets me do it. For 10 minutes. Fly, see invisibility. Something goes invisible. I turn my eyes on, and I now see. Like, it's a real handy thing. Just pull out of nowhere and just get into it. And hopefully DMs bring a little bit of this into your campaign if you've got one of these guys. But that'll come in later.
Level 18. Do you want to take that?
I do. Give that over here. Oh. Righto. Warping Implosion.
Very cool.
You can unleash your aberrant power as a space warping anomaly. As an action, you can teleport to an unoccupied space you can see within 120 feet of you. Immediately after you disappear, each creature within 30 feet of that space you left must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, the creature takes 10... only 3d10 force damage and is pulled straight towards the space you left, ending in an unoccupied space as close to your former space as possible. On a successful save, the creature takes half the damage and isn't pulled. Once you've used this feature, you can't do so until you take a long rest or spend 5 sorcery points to use it again.
Actually, not that bad at level 18. You got 18 of those suckers.
It doesn't do heaps of damage, though. It gets you out of there. It gets you out of there and solves that problem, but it's only 3d10. It's not a huge amount. For a capstone ability, I was kind of expecting... I don't know, it leaves a null gravity field for 30 seconds or just something.
I hear. I'm a big fan of enemy displacement. This is something that you can use to pull enemies into a confined area.
Yep, get it.
And then cast your synaptic static, which is going to ruin people's lives. The thing with this is, it's the magic of the sorcerers, and the meta magic has already done the trick. Like, if we had a capstone on top, this subclass is already broken. It's so far past other subclasses. So this is a good utility to tap onto for an escape, for repositioning enemies, for a big feu de joie.
Yeah. So how do you think this whole class comes together? How do you feel about it?
As I got to play it, I love it. I love any subclass that when I play it right, I get accused of cheating. Because the maths, while it checks out, seems wrong. Abberant Mind Sorcerer is a broken subclass, but it's so much fun to play. So as long as you're playing it with good intentions, fantastic.
No worries. I think it's an interesting class. I think if you're in a campaign that was just dungeon crawl and killing things, this wouldn't shine as much as some others. But I think what it makes up to is if you get to role play and you get to experiment and investigate and have to discover things, this then works better. Having to get secrets out of people, having to find objects, part of your divination side of things, all that sort of stuff. Like some of these abilities, like your level 14th ability, it's got very less to do with combat. No, you're not upping your damage, but you're getting to do extra things that make you more interesting. I'll talk about types of characters later, but I just found it was a good mix. It wasn't full combat, and I just loved it for the flavour. That's what I took most out of this class. Mitch, got a character concept for us?
Yes. Now, picture this, if you will. A plasmoid Abberant Mind Sorcerer, and go Astral Drifter background to get the Magic Initiate feat, get your extra spells.
Yep.
Then basically playing a character that is non-human, a monster character. So walking up to somebody and doing a little charm person and saying, "Hey, would you care to join me in this vacant toilet block?"
Nice. For your campaign, I played a Yonti, one of these, who had left the faith of the Yonti because they delved into the far realm, going Cthulhu-ish, very Call of Cthulhu style things, had gazed into the void and saw that there was more out there that their religion couldn't even comprehend, and was slowly trying to discover more secrets and developing their power so that they could eventually suck everything into the far realm and cause it such chaos and utter madness and confusion that I leaped heavily into spells that didn't really do a lot of damage. I was drugging people, I was reading minds, I was mucking people's heads up, I was playing a character who, once again, wouldn't have excelled as much in combat, but your sorcery levels keep you pretty good over there. But this subclass gets you doing more interesting things. That's probably the best thing about D&D, is not how much damage you do, it's how interesting your character is. I find that a lot better than rolling a 50 in damage.
As the DM of that campaign, I believe I can translate for you. It's more fun to sidestep all obstacles through clever spell use.
Yeah.
Well played. Yeah.
It was good.
It's part of the game.
Any tips for players? If you were going to play this, what's a good tip for your player?
Be good at maths. Swapping backwards and forwards between spell slots and sorcery points is a must to make this class work. And doing research on the spells you want to swap out from the divination and the enchantment pools, very important as well, because there's some really good ones that, make your character unique.
For me, it'd be decide how freaky you want your things to be. Like when you do spell, do like gills all of a sudden open up? Like do tendrils come out of your eyes? What exactly happens? Are you going to lean down that, or are you going to go a little more cleaner and you're not concerned about that side of things? And with the psionics power of this, you can go either way. It doesn't have to be full Cthulhu-ish. It can be very different. It can be something a little more stranger and done differently. So you can pull from a number of different sources.
DM tips. Allow these psionic spells to work. You can't counterspell them. You can't have people see through them. Let's just let people have fun the way they're intending. If you don't want them to be able to cast spells without counterspell, you may want to talk them into not playing this subclass, because this subclass revolves around psionic spells, revolves around metamagics, chad, and allow your players to live that end game fantasy.
Cool. For me, it is invest in your campaign a little more than just things to kill. You're going to have to get things that maybe they've got to track something down, and some of these locate objects, some of these decisive, some of these reading minds is going to give this guy a chance. So you're going to have to make sure that you know a couple of secrets that people are hiding, that then this person's going to get the chance of like, well, I'm going to delve into their head and rip that secret out, and then I'm going to modify their memory so they don't remember a damn thing. Like, it is really interesting. If the character says they want to start doing this, obviously how they want to play it. Let them lean into that way and have a go at changing and mentally minds and cracking them down and breaking people. Another one is that make sure when you're bringing out monsters, have them do more than just run up and punch style monsters. You can on creatures that do sonic blasts and do all sorts of things that'll make the whole party pause, but this guy will get their chance, this player, to jump up and be like, not me, I'm resistant and I made my save against fear, charm, whatever. I'm going to now save the party and do this sort of stuff. That will give them such a shine moment to go, yes, my class was better. It blasted all you barbarians and I managed to pull out of this thing and then come through and save the day. So, yeah, more interesting monsters with their more interesting abilities. Don't just run up and punch monsters.
Hell yeah.
Right, Mish. Well, this is our first one in person. It's been 3 years since I've been anywhere near you.
Yeah, I know. And what a great time to do it at. 2023, post-COVID, we survived. Well, most of us. Pouring out for our homies. But man, thank you very much for coming down to Casa del Mod.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, man. Let's do some more.
Hell yeah. Let all the bad rolls be forgot and never come to mind.
See ya.
Let all